and go down to 150, 130. No one wants to do that right now. So everybody's kind of, it's a weird situation. I could rant more about it, but I mean, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, the only apes I'm buying are the DJ apes.
Oh yeah, it's just, it's not good. You have so much supply in the market right now that wants to be sold and not very many buyers. And so only like, and if you've ever tried to exit an NFT, it's like it's
harder than,
yeah, you can't. If you have 50 NFTs and there's a floor that's there, it will take you 4 weeks to exit that project. It's just not going to happen.
That's what I said. I've been saying for a while, non-fungibility is a bug, not a feature.
Yeah. So yeah, people look at the price like it's a crypto price, and it's just not. You have to understand that there has to be buyers, and so if you're not selling in the strength, you can't sell. It doesn't matter what the floor price is. That's not the price people are going to pay if no one's buying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're all out on NFTs, Vinny and Chico. You're going to tell me, Vinny, you're going to tell me Solana is decentralized. Chico, you're going to tell me Solana may be centralized. We're going to have a big show today. Actually, we've been live for the last minute. When I heard this banter, I just thought, click the live button. And so we went live. So we are live. Oh, so welcome back, everyone. How you doing?
Hey,
surprise live. That's always good. We should do that more often and catch something really bad.
Alrighty. Welcome back, Banter fam. It's Friday, and I tricked the guys. I just hit the live button because I heard there was so much going on in the waiting room that I thought you guys should hear it too. And that's exactly what I did. So you can hear it, unadulterated banter. So we are on Friday. Bitcoin is cooling down, as we said this morning, 46,000. Solana is at 176, but cooling down because Solana was much higher than 176. We have NFTs, which are cooling down a lot. So we got a lot to discuss. We got a massive show today. We're going to be talking about Ethereum and whether Ethereum is dead. We're going to be talking about Solana. We're going to be talking about the next Solana. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and some other. Fred, was that FUD or was it not FUD? The BlackRock interview. I don't know. You tell us. I mean, is this FUD or is this not FUD? Let's hear it. Actually, we'll play it after the intro.
Component of crypto, I think. We'll
play the whole interview after the intro. So, welcome back, guys. Let's get the show on the road. Let's do that. All right, welcome back, guys. It's Friday, Banter Friday. Let's quickly take a look at what's going on the markets. We have Bitcoin, again, as I said, 46,000, neither here nor there. That does feel a little bit like the market has lost some steam, so there's going to be a lot to talk about there. You have NFTs, lost some steam. You have US inflation or producer inflation, which ultimately producer inflation is going to filter down to the consumer. And the US inflation numbers are absolutely scary. I want to read this to you guys. The producer price index. Now remember, producer price index is what the producers pay, the increase in price that the producers pay, rose 0.7% last month. And now we're talking about the 12-month producer price index accelerating to 8.3%. That means that you're talking about an official inflation rate in the United States as measured by producer price index at about 10%, probably more, because there's a very select basket that goes into these things. This is starting to get scary. This is like really starting to get scary. At the same time, we had this interview today from BlackRock. I want to play the interview. Let me play this to you.
I think within the firm, probably more so than many others. Where do you see that now? We talked about what El Salvador did this week, but it speaks to all the issues that you're dealing with here, which is what are real rates? What's the value of money?
So that's it. It's a tricky subject. So first of all, I'll say the first thing I will say on crypto, people describe it as a hedge or an alternative. I'm not sure it's a really great hedge. I mean, the correlation to equities, the correlation to risk assets, I'm not sure it's a great hedge. By the way, when an asset moves 10 to 15% a day, really hard to hedge big organic asset pools with that as a hedge. Is it an alternative currency? Listen, I've said it with you, Andrew. Listen, part of why I own a small piece of Bitcoin is I do think there are more people that are going to enter that fray over time. We have a very moderate position in our portfolio. I like assets that, quite frankly, are volatile, that have upside convexity. And I could see Bitcoin like it's done. I could see it go up significantly. But listen, I think it's volatile. I don't think it's a core asset class like bonds are or like stocks are. But I think it's, to have a bit as more of a speculative tool in a portfolio. Yeah, I think there's some value to that.
Before I let you.
All right, so is that FUD? Is that not FUD? I don't know. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So welcome back. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already a member of the Banter family. Join the Banter family, the closest crypto family in the world, the richest crypto family in the world. We have people all over the world. And as I said to you guys yesterday, the one thing that we learned is that our viewers get things first. And that's because we've got a time advantage, which is great for you guys. We're here in the mornings. We're here earlier. We had 5 a.m. EST with Sheldon's show. We're here at 10 a.m. EST with my show. We've got 2 microdose shows. And yesterday we launched a show with Big Cheds, which is a masterclass show called Trading Wisdom. If you missed that, go and check it out. It was an incredible show. So lots to talk about today. Let's get the panel in. It is Friday. We do banter on Friday. We've got Chico, we've got Vinny, we've got Alex Becker. It's going to be a big DGen day. Guys, welcome back.
Thanks, Ron.
We've got so much to talk about here because we've got Alex, who's a NFT DGen, and now probably has nothing to do because NFTs are, I don't know, according to the stats at least. Let me show you some stats. Looks pretty dismal what's going on in NFT land. You've got Vinny, who brought in the Solana deal, or who led the Solana deal at Multicoin Capital. Big Solana fan. You must be smiling now, Vinny.
Yeah, it's been a good run. I cannot complain.
Yeah, and Chico, who thinks Solana may be centralized. So we've got a hell of a lot to talk about today. Let's actually get the show on the road. Let's quickly talk about El Salvador. Let's start off with El Salvador. This was the week that El Salvador introduced Bitcoin as a legal tender. What did you guys think of the launch? And do you think the market was manipulated?
I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know about manipulation. I think we just really needed a cool off, because that rise up, it really reminded me of January when we pumped up really hard. It needed to cool off, and I think we still need a lot more cool off. I don't know if the El Salvador thing really,
didn't we just have a cool off to 30,000? Wasn't that the cool off?
Yeah, it was 40,000 to 33, and then it popped up to 36, and then went down to like 29 or something for just a little bit. It was a nice little double dump. My only thoughts in El Salvador is we got all these Western countries that really don't like the dollar's their weapon. It's their tool. I don't think they're really going to be amused with countries doing something that hurts the dollar or limits the dollar's power over them. So if it'd be manipulated or something bad was happening, I think the Western countries would be a lot more aggressive. So maybe we'll see that come in the future. That's my only thoughts.
Vinny, what do you think?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think a large part of the sell-off, it just happened to come on the same day that Coinbase was announcing their Wells notice. And so it was like a front run by insiders somewhere that knew the Wells notice went to Coinbase. We don't know whether it hit the day before or on the day, etc. But within a reasonably short space of time, it just seemed very suspicious to me. And I think that there may have been this like fear factor dumping, and I think it's probably the market didn't know how Coinbase was going to respond to it, and so publicly. And so that was possibly a front run on the market.
Chico, what do you think, bro?
Well, I did actually a video just on September. It's a notoriously bearish month. In the past 8 years, I think 6 out of 8 years, September has had significant decreases. And I actually predicted where we're at right now as the low for this month. So I'm hoping we hold at this 46,000 level. If it stays here and is able to even go sideways for a week and then, you know, start rising, it's perfectly good with me. October is going to be fireworks.
Plan B said 43,500 is his minimum target for September. He also said that August was going to end at 47,000 as a minimum. August did end at 47,000 exactly. Vinny, what do you think?
I actually kind of agree there. I think it's. I think we already hit that, right? I think the wick down hit 43K, if I remember correctly. Did it? Yeah,
but I think he implies that September is going to close at that level. So, like, do you think that we're going to close at that level?
No, I don't. I mean, I doubt it. I think the wick down showed a lot of support at 43K, and it would have to take a lot of momentum to try and break that 43K on the downside.
What is it about September? Like, why? I get sell in May and go away. Like, I really get that. You sell in May, you want to go on a vacation, you don't want to worry about your stocks, you want to go away for the summer. So I get sell in May and go away.
It's the end of summer. It's basically, people want to do their one last vacation, the one last hurrah, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's a shitty for a month.
It's the end of the quarter, right? So, like, you know, people closing books end of September, etc. There's financial year ends of September on the institutional side. It's just one of those months where people are just busy running around trying to get like things done. And I think that a lot of financial people, etc., are not focused on the market. And then, you know, 1st of October hits, it's like, okay, how do we position ourselves for, you know, like November is just generally a really good month for crypto, historically.
November, December, historically are the best. Every single bull run. 2013, 2017, bull run, parabolic, November, December. I want to actually quickly just go to, we've seen this a million times before. It does look, this run does look very much like 2017, and 2013. If you look at it,
it's spooky.
It looks so much. There's just so many. So let me just scroll back and show the viewers. And the listeners, there's viewers and listeners. We've got to respect both. So here we go. So you got September with the dip. So exactly what we had here. You had a good August. You had a little increase in August. You had a dip in September from Vinny. You'll remember this 5,000 all the way down to 3,000. I think we've got some texts with each other doing that. And then you went parabolic towards the end of the year. That's what happened in 2017. And if this chart will give me 2013. It's kind of like exactly the same, almost uncanny.
That's why it spooks me out. You know, I call this the last hurrah, this run. I've been saying that for a while because I think this is one of the last runs we're going to see a parabolic like this before the institutions come. And it's more, you know, they're controlling the price instead of some of these Bitcoin whales.
Alex, what do you think? Last hurrah, like last chance in our lives that we'll see a parabolic run. Is this like really like a once in a lifetime?
Like this one, of course, we're going to see runs, but this is one of the last ones where things are going to go really wild.
Alex, what do you think?
So, yeah, no, I totally agree on that. At least in the top 100 coins, once the big money gets in here, and we really haven't even seen big money get into it yet, Bitcoin's going to become just really stable, and there's not going to be any chance to flip it or make money quickly in Bitcoin. So it's really just going to become a stable asset, which is excellent overall. That's what we all want from it.
Yep.
So to me right now, I think.
I could go ahead.
Yeah. So to me right now, I think a lot of people are actually really worried right now. We might be in that denial phase that usually happens at the end of huge rise ups, and so I could see a lot of people being a little bit more scared, and we could probably go down to 40 to 38. I'm really bad at calling what Bitcoin is going to do. That's just I could see a little bit more fear than usual, as people could think that we're in that denial phase and think we're in massive profit right now from this ride up right here. I'm going to take my profits right now and see what happens. And so I could see that happening, but
I mean,
you guys are probably a little bit better than I am at it.
I must say, I kind of agree with Chico, or maybe I'm concerned that Chico Crypto is right, but I may agree with him, is if we may have another parabolic run. It feels like we're about to have a parabolic run. We could have one towards November, December. How many more parabolic runs are we going to get in crypto? Now, I know that we're specifically, the four of us are here for the technology, But I think that there are the rest of the crypto world, other than the four of us, are actually here for the life-changing gains.
Yeah.
And I mean, is this going to be like the last parabolic run in crypto? Vinny, I'm going to ask you because you've seen like 17 of these parabolic runs since you got into Bitcoin.
So I think it's possibly true. I'd say 60% chance that it's probably the last one, because what happens is the capital gets to scale, and then it's just a lot harder to create this sort of run because you start hitting your head against the law of large numbers, right? It's just a lot harder to move a bigger number into a parabola. I mean, it's like me saying to you, "Hey, Ron, I'll buy $1 from you for $100," and you can say, "Wow, I made a 100x return in like a second from Vinny." It doesn't, I can do that. I'm not going to buy $1 million from you for 100 million, but I can, so as the number gets bigger, there's just less sort of ability for it to go into a parabola. I think Chico's 100% right here. I think we're going to get this like last hurrah type of thing. I mean, I tweeted this out a few months ago, I think earlier this year. It feels like 2013 to me, where you have this like double bubble. And I think the real question is how big is this? The question really is how big is the second run? That's the question. Do we get to like
2013? It was
2025? Do we get to 125? Do we get to 250? Do we get to like what is that peak number? And when it hits that peak, you can expect almost guaranteed like an 80% drawdown. Like it's just going to pull back massively, and then it's going to be a multi-year consolidation. Now, when that happens, the real question is, do chains like Solana and anything else that's running on utility actually start coming to the fore? And is there flipping in the midst for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for everything else? And Bitcoin dominance is a very important number, and Bitcoin dominance is really, really low right now. And the question is, does it go from 60 back up? From 40 back up to 60? What does it do? And this is like, there's so many variables in crypto, and people like ask me questions. I'm like, dude, it's like there's just so many variables. It's not as simple as like, is it going to rain tomorrow? The number of variables in crypto are thousands, and so we know.
I say Bitcoin dominance never sees 60% ever again.
I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. But the maxis believe it goes back to 90.
Alex, what do you think? Bitcoin dominance. Where do you call it top for Bitcoin dominance?
So I'm just going to do something no one ever does and say, I don't know. I think a lot of people have been watching Bitcoin a lot longer than I do. I almost completely ignore Bitcoin. I just use it as a gauge for the overall market. I think it's not going to be as predictable as everybody thinks it's going to be, but I also can't predict it. I can't predict it at all. So if I'm going to throw out a number, I don't know. I think we get the 100, 150K is reasonable. There's also the huge potential we could blow up. But
in terms of dominance, in terms of like how important Bitcoin is in the community, like right now, the Bitcoin dominance
really lower in the future because we're going to actually get into adoption where prices are fueled by adoption, not speculation, where it's being fueled by actual customers using the products. And at that point, like we've talked about with crypto gaming, for example, Bitcoin's movement is going to be irrelevant when people are picking up a product and using it in mass and actually paying for it and adopting it. So when we see that, I really don't think Bitcoin's going to have near the sway it does. And it's going to be just like gold, for example. People will store their value in it to avoid inflation, and it's used that everybody's talking about. We're going to see that. And I think at that point, we'll see it. It might be on top, might not, but we'll see.
Okay, so I say Bitcoin dominance never sees 60% ever again. I would even hazard a guess to say that it doesn't see 55, but I wouldn't put my money on 55. But definitely I put my money that Bitcoin dominance never sees 60 again. Now we ask the next question, and that is Ethereum dominance. So Ethereum dominance is at about 20%. Ethereum, in my mind, and I've been trying to use Ethereum for the last 2 weeks, and because of NFTs, I think Ethereum it's broken. You cannot use Ethereum. You cannot do anything on Ethereum. Everything is slow. Everything is expensive. Everything freezes. It's just absolutely unusable. But is it unusable enough that Solana is now going to take the cake?
I think so. I think Solana goes and beats Ethereum inside the next 12 months. And look, so if you look at what happened with Civic, we built our entire smart contracting platform on top of Ethereum, our wallet infrastructure, etc. It's a mixture of Ethereum and Bitcoin, but we struggled we struggled really with Ethereum, infrastructure, and eventually to onboard a new user into an Ethereum wallet at Civic cost us $500 in gas fees last year. $500 for one new user just to give them a free wallet to store the info. It didn't make any sense. So we announced, I think in January or February this year, that we're moving to Solana, well ahead of everyone else realizing that there's something up with Solana. And we're in the process of doing that right now. Obviously, it takes time to put the smart contracts across. But I think that a lot of Ethereum projects and projects that try to use Ethereum are disillusioned right now and realize that from a business perspective, the economics around building on Ethereum doesn't make any sense. And Ethereum's not going anywhere, guys. So it's not like Ethereum is going to disappear tomorrow. It just means that a lot of the use cases around Ethereum are going to have to move elsewhere. So it's basically like Apple versus Microsoft in the 90s. Like businesses never used Apple generally in the 90s to build stuff. Everything went on Microsoft. The corporates all moved to Microsoft. Apple is too expensive. The hardware, the software, etc. And so Ethereum may be the Apple of this generation of technologies. And Apple's still a huge company, but so is Microsoft. So you could have this duality in the crypto markets where it's an Ethereum Solana world where the market share between the two goes between 50, 60, 40, all the time, and they back and forth. But they serve different use cases. Like I think Solana wins in DeFi actually, because what happens with Solana and DeFi is you're able to onboard more people into DeFi because the transaction costs are a lot lower, and then the arbitrage goes up. The arbitrage opportunity goes up because you can actually arb gaps of less than $1 or less than $10. Where in Ethereum you can't do that because it doesn't make any sense.
Because the gas fees are too high. Because Ethereum is absolutely unusable.
So liquidity goes up, and so things like Serum that's running on top of Solana are going to do really well, or Mango Markets, they're going to do really well. And Ethereum, we can't make this work on Ethereum at Civic. We can't. The fees are just too high. And so maybe Ethereum is great for minting, really nice pieces of fine art or whatever it is. But Solana is probably going to be the more mass market smart contracting platform, in my opinion.
Alex, I'm gonna bring this to you. Chico, I'm coming to you next. But Alex, I want to bring this to you because you're an NFT guy, and the majority of NFTs are actually built on Ethereum. Mm-hmm. So, what's your view? You've obviously been trading in and out of the NFTs.
Ethereum's in a lot of trouble until hypothetically ETH 2.0 solves the problems. Even then, it's in a lot of trouble because it's going to lose its most dominant market shares. What's going to happen with smart contracts is the customers that use the businesses that run on the smart contracts or get into it. So, for example, in video games, okay, the video game players don't care what system something's on. They care that the game is useful and it works. If you use Polygon or Ethereum, even if we take gas fees out of it, it's way too slow and clunky. It doesn't work. It's not functional. It's not something the customer is going to choose. And the business that chooses which smart contract system it's going to use, Ethereum simply not. You can't have a customer. You can't run a business on top of Ethereum. It doesn't work functionally at all. And when the masses of people get into it, the gas fees are one thing. The usability is another. It's not theoretically. It's literally the pressure point. The stress test is here. It's failed. It's not usable. It's not an option for businesses. So we see gaming crypto really becoming relevant and really putting smart contract systems through their one of the biggest stress tests because it requires cheapness, it requires efficiency, it requires accuracy. And so a lot of contract systems, I really like Solana, but I was buying NFTs with it, and it was very sloppy as well when I was using it. It's cheap. So I think Ethereum's in a lot of trouble because we're at the point right now where we're getting mass adoption. Businesses cannot be adopted if they're using Ethereum, period. Polygon's way too slow and clunky to be used for games right now. And we're seeing a lot of slop from other coins that are in the top 10, but when there's a lot of other ones down low that offer solutions, and I haven't used all of them, so I'm speaking a little bit on my ass here, but the market for what is going to be used underneath these systems and for NFTs, it's definitely not Ethereum. Zero chance. It's not coming. It's not going to happen, period. But everything else is in the running right now. Solana is definitely in first, but it is a little bit sloppy when you use it, but they can clean it up, and Solana is much better to use.
Okay, so if Solana is first, and Chico, I'm going to come to you, but if Solana is first, then why is Cardano in third place when it comes to market cap?
Because the market has no basis in what's reality and what's actually happening. People invest based on...
Because Cardano has rich-ass Japanese investors that are pumping it to the moon.
It's a cult. And I'm not saying Cardano won't work. We just haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to sit here and talk something up or say something's bad or good. It needs to run smart contracts. And the chances of them having perfect smart contracts to compete with Solana Day one?
It's not going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. I've done my research.
I'll bet money by the end of the year that Solana's in number 3 spot.
I would bet that too. I think that's very likely.
Solana's going to overtake Cardano for sure. And guys, like, you know, let me give you guys some background here. Like, I got into Solana in 2018 because I had a fallout with like the Bitcoin community, which is kind of, well, you know, famously known because I always felt that fees are too high. You know,
blocks are too small.
They removed zero conf because, and we'll go into the details, but zero conf is basically instant transactions. You know, look, Solana is, and the smart contract capabilities of Bitcoin is just not there. Like RSK took forever. It's still not there. Lightning Network was not going to be around for years. They promised 18 months. We're 4 years down the line. We still don't have it really working. It's okay. It's getting there now, but it's not mainstream yet. And even if it is, it's 4 years versus 18 months. 2018, I met Anatoly and Raj, and it was like, this is a no-brainer, guys. Like, this is a fantastic blockchain. This actually solves so many problems. Let's get behind it and make it work. And I think it was the right call. And now we have Solana in number 3, and I think it's very quick, very soon Solana could be in number 2.
Yeah.
Chico, you published a video about 20 hours ago with maybe slightly different views.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see the use case for Solana, of course. You know, people want low fees, people want high transactions per second. But if you understand decentralization, you know, there's trade-offs. You know, if you're going to have that, you know, low fees, high TPS, you're trading off decentralization for that. Solana is more centralized. It does have a smaller number of nodes than Ethereum. There's no doubt about that. I know I said in the video, you know, there's rumors that it's just 4 that are actually validating the transactions. That's why they can put up 50,000. But they do have 690, I think, nodes right now. But I don't know if they're all validating the transactions. I think some of them are just placeholders. But even if that...
Isn't it decentralized enough? Come on, 700 validators.
So hold on. Let me jump in here for 1 second, Chico. Like, do people care?
No, they don't. I mean, there's a time when decentralized ISIN no matter. I'm not saying it's not irrelevant.
Most people care.
I'm saying if I'm playing a video game and I'm running it, I want what's fast and what works. I don't care what it's going through.
Exactly.
There are going to be times where decentralization is extremely important.
Then just why don't you just do a regular computer game?
Okay. So hold on. So hold on. This is where everyone gets it wrong. Okay, in my opinion, and I'll walk you through it. So first of all, Solana is on a path to decentralization.
Oh yeah,
where it gets to the point where there's 15,000 nodes out there, validators out there, and it's like reasonable decentralization is what you need. Where there's no, like, you know, for day-to-day usage, there's just no chance anyone's going to overtake the network for, you know, for anything. Yeah. So, and secondly, like, the value of transactions, the value is directly, you know, the value dictates what level of decentralization needs to happen. So if Solana is being used for 50, 100,000, $1 million transaction, it doesn't need Bitcoin level decentralization. Okay, where you're trying to move $1 billion in one go. Okay,
yeah.
This is high volume, low value, low-ish value transactions, and no one is going to try and attack the network to hijack $1 million transaction. The cost is just too high, and it would have to be really massive numbers. And Bitcoin's being used for this large value transfer. It needs more decentralization. I agree with that. For the low value, I just don't see it happening. Secondly, we've seen from the CoinMarketCap rankings that no one gives a shit. Binance is number 4. It's called Binance Coin. It's run by Binance. It's the most centralized coin on the top, whatever, 10 list. Maybe you could argue, you know, Tether obviously is, but you know, Binance is centralized. We know this. No one cares. No one cares.
Well, actually, they do, because a lot of projects are moving from the Binance Smart Chain, you know, after all of these.
It's not because of decentralization. It's not because of that.
A lot of hacks started happening, and now people are not.
That's a security risk. That's a security risk. That's not a consensus issue. It's a security risk. So, let's separate the two. Okay, from a consensus perspective, Solana is going to get to the point where it's probably more decentralized than, you know, maybe Ethereum or something along those lines. But it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. It needs to get to a level where there's a healthy amount of decentralization, where no one actor can overtake the network. There's no state actor that can attack the network, etc. And I think we're pretty close. I don't think we're there yet. And
I think there's degrees. I think there's degrees. I think we had EOS and Tron, and no one. And then we said, okay, 21 validators is just not enough, and so those were like eliminated. And then we had BSC, which was kind of in between. And then we moved to Solana, and then we moved to Ethereum, and then we moved to apparently Cardano, which is supposedly the most decentralized of all of them, but just doesn't have smart contracts.
Yes. So there's the scale of, there's the trilemma basically. Okay, you can't have ultra cheap fees, 400 millisecond finality, and infinite decentralization. Like for example, the Bitcoin community wants to have infinite decentralization. They want to build the infrastructure so that you can run 7 billion nodes, but there's only like 5,000 nodes, maybe 100,000 listening nodes today. And that's amongst the early adopter, the first 100, 200 million people. When you get to 7 billion people, I guarantee you no one's running a node. Okay, it's probably gonna be the same number that it was like from 2017 or and maybe a couple of years worth of growth, and that's it. So let's be honest, like decentralization has degrees, and all you have to ask yourself is, are you comfortable when you're gaming that your transactions are happening in 400 milliseconds, and that there's no state actor that's going to steal your sort of justice? That's basically it.
Well, one thing we're not talking about, though, is there's a reason all these projects, every single one of them, are building bridges back to Ethereum. If they don't have an Ethereum bridge, they're dead. One of the reasons Solana is surging right now is because they are building EVM compatibility and, a bridge back to Ethereum. Before, when they were siloed off, no one was building on Solana. No one.
So no one. I'm not sure that's the reason. I would 100% the reason. So we've looked at it at Civic. We looked at the bridge. We looked at what's it called, Neon, whatever it is. And we think that porting contracts across is clunky. It'll work for low grade stuff. It's kind of like the same as Microsoft.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Solana is Solana, and EVM is EVM, and you can say an EVM bridge, but it's garbage. Let's just call it
it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work.
That's not good.
Hear me out. It's going to work. It's basically like an emulator running on it's a virtual machine, basically. That's what it is, right? It's an emulator. And it's not going to give you the same high fidelity as if you built the app natively on Solana using Rust. So
I'll tell you that right now. That's not good news for Solana holders right here. Because if they don't have a good EVM bridge to port over contracts, they're fucked.
But this is my point. My point is the quality. The quality of projects that you can build in Solana with 400 millisecond finality, sub 1 second costs, and the quality is going to be a lot better if you build it natively using Rust on Solana versus porting. You can port, but the performance is going to be there, and a lot of optimizations will need to happen. And so it's okay for certain projects, but I like the idea that people can go and build on the Solana ecosystem and actually start rethinking things from scratch and not just trying to port crap.
I think it's different. I think you're going to get competitors. I think for trading and for gaming, where you need quick finality, Solana is going to be the bridge. Yes. I think for money and high value storage, Bitcoin is going to be the chain. So I think Ethereum is going to find a different niche. That's what I think.
I got to say,
I think Ethereum loses these markets, NFTs and gaming, and then these other contract systems come in and do a better job. It's going to be so hard for them to come in and become what they need to be. Like ETH 2.0, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, whenever it comes out, if gaming takes off and the smart contracts are all built on one system, it's going to be very hard for Ethereum to come slip back in there and just, it's going to be too much of a pain for the businesses to bring back in and then get their customers on board with. And it's just, I just look at things from a business perspective and a customer perspective, not so much everything that was just mentioned way over my head. But I'm going to look at what the businesses are going to choose and what customers are going to choose. And
well, EVM compatibility is huge because most developers in this space, they are used to Solidity. There's no doubt about that. And they do not want to learn a new language. That's why Cardano is going to fucking fail right now. So there is a project. If you guys have heard of, what was that?
Rust is not a new language. Rust is a language that's been around for, I'm
talking about smart contract developers. Smart contracts are different than regular developers. I mean, a regular developer, it's so hard for them to learn smart contract and vice versa, They don't. When you learn a language, you stick to that language.
So remember, Rust is a lot harder than Solidity, so the quality of developers are probably going to be a little higher. the ones going into that, and so hopefully the quality of the projects will improve as well.
And well, you know what's even harder is Haskell on Cardano. It's supposedly the best language out there, but no one freaking uses it because it's so difficult.
That's important.
So I'll bring up another point, which I think it's Ryan, it's worth actually like looking into. Okay, the rate, if you combine the market caps of Solana and Ethereum right now, Solana has got an 11.5% effective share of market between the two. Okay, is that the right number? Do we think that of the combined market cap, because let's assume that they're going after roughly similar markets, right? And they should probably go together in lockstep. I think that the number is probably closer to 2-to-1 Ethereum to Solana.
I've got a theory about this. My theory about this is the following. Cardano was Solana's best friend and has now become Cardano was Solana's best friend, because people looked at Cardano and said, hold on, this has got a $100 billion market cap and not a single smart contract application has been written on it. Therefore, Solana is cheap. Now, Cardano needs to move aside and say, okay, Solana is, in my mind, is definitely worth more than Cardano today. I don't know what's going to happen.
No question.
And now I think Cardano needs to move out the way and let Solana climb up and start actually competing head on with Ethereum.
The question is, does Solana move up or does Ethereum move down?
Both.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. You have to look at the combined percentage. You got to say the Solana share of market cap is 11.5%. That's probably going to go up to 20-30% very, very soon.
So I have to talk because we're all talking about Solana, Ethereum, Cardano. Well, there is a project out there from the Polkadot ecosystem, Kusama. You guys aren't talking about that.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about that.
Actually, Gavin Wood, he created, like a lot of people talk about Vitalik. Vitalik wrote, the paper. He basically wrote, a high school report. The person who created Ethereum is Gavin Wood. He's the one who coded it all, and he coded it in like freaking a week. The guy's a freaking genius, and he built Polkadot and Kusama to be EVM compatible out the gate. He built the EVM modules for the parachains within Kusama and Polkadot, and there's one out there right now that, it's 120 times less. It can do 120x from here and not even be the market cap of Solana. It can do a freaking 893x from here and not be the market cap of Ethereum. That is MoonRiver, you guys.
MoonRiver.
Yes.
Why did you have to say that on stream? I'm waiting for it to dip.
MoonRiver.
Total dick. I hate you. I was talking to Rand about this morning.
MoonRiver.
All right,
I'm telling you guys right now, MoonRiver is going to surge because
I must say,
it's literally it does everything that Cardano, Solana say they can do, but it's fully EVM compatible. The developers are going to be able to port over the applications in seconds, dude. Instead of we got to wait for a clunky bridge to come by. This is built for Ethereum compatibility.
Exactly. So MoonRiver is a Ethereum EVM chain. It is basically Ethereum. The only thing is that it plugs into Kusama. So it plugs into the Kusama network. And effectively, it's already won its parachain. It already is a parachain. We actually backed it in the parachain auctions. We crowd loaned. We crowd loaned some Kusama because we knew they were gonna win. I think that Kusama and MoonRiver aren't even in the game. But I think where they may struggle is to get to build ecosystems. And I think what MoonRiver does, it allows for very simple migration from Ethereum to a non-clunky experience. That's the difference. I think if you try and migrate a Solana app to Ethereum, an Ethereum app to Solana, you're going to get a clunky experience. Yeah. But if you migrate an Ethereum app to MoonRiver and MoonBeam, take your pick. One is the Kusama and one is the Polkadot one. That is just it's Ethereum. You're using EVM. You're using Ethereum. It just plugs into the Kusama network. That's why we backed them in the crowd loans, because we just thought that it is a logical thing, and it's got a very, very, very small market cap. But the entire Kusama and Polkadot ecosystems are untested. No one knows. Solana is now fully tested, and it's working.
This is all demand based, right? So where are we seeing demand on the Ethereum network for anything right now? I mean this like I'm asking a question like, from the business world, where is the biggest demand coming from in Ethereum?
NFTs and DeFi.
Everywhere.
NFTs and DeFi.
There is demand for games that just can't do it.
Exactly.
There'd be huge demand for games on there. That's going to be the biggest aggressive use case, I think, coming up here very soon.
And are you going to get sub 1 second finality on MoonRiver?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think MoonRiver is. I think
hold on. No, not sub 1 second. It's not. It's MoonRiver is never going to be as fast as Solana. There's no way that there's not for finality. MoonRiver will be fast, but it won't be as fast as Solana. MoonRiver will be cheap, but it won't be as cheap as Solana.
So gamers need sub-second finality. There's no way you can have a gamer hanging around. I mean, like for seconds to get a transaction confirmed.
Basically, Kusama has proved Ethereum 2.0. That is what Kusama is. It's basically a parachain structure, sharding structure. You know, that is actually. It's working right now. And once MoonRiver comes, and there's actually ecosystems coming, you guys, I'm telling you, SushiSwap is deploying to MoonRiver, I think, this week or next week. It's going to be massive, you guys. I mean, because there is fully built with Ethereum compatibility. And this is decentralized.
I think from a
narrative standpoint about what's going to make less money, I think MoonRiver, I think if we look at ABAX and Fantom, especially if we dip here hard, I think that's where the juicy gains are at. If we're just ignoring all the tech parts, guys, you guys are the experts there. I'm not even going to try to jump in that conversation. But I think from the gains point, Fantom, ABAX, and MoonRiver, I mean, MoonRiver is something I'm looking very hard at right now.
What about MoonBeam, which is the Polkadot one?
Well, Polkadot doesn't, I mean, Kusama is the canary network for Polkadot. So they're testing all the functions and making sure it works on Kusama first before deploying it to the actual Polkadot chain. So, I mean, Polkadot hasn't even done their first parachain auctions yet, but I guarantee you MoonBeam will be the one that wins the first one. Of course.
Yeah, and an easy way to make money is just to buy Polkadot, loan your Polkadot when MoonBeam goes on auction, and then you'll just get free MoonBeam tokens for a period of, I think it's 48 weeks. I don't know how the Polkadot parachain auctions are going to work. I think we've exhausted smart contract chains. In fact, no, one more question. Fantom. Is anybody here a Fantom fan? Because Fantom's like 5x'd in the last week.
I'm for the gains. That's why I'm a fan of it. I think the narrative behind it, and I think with everybody getting all their gains in Solana and all their gains in other smart contract systems, because we've kind of hit the peak of Cardano. I don't know if we hit the peak of Solana right now, but there's a lot of money that wants to make more money. And so they're going to go down the totem pole. And I think Fantom, I'm not super aware of the technology. I'm not going to sit here and make the case that can be made here from the other guest. But I think narrative-wise, it's super strong. I think it has a super strong gains narrative.
Let me show you why we are nowhere near the top of the Solana run. Yeah. Because if you go to Solana apps today, and good apps, you go to an app like Sunny, and again, I'm not vouching for their smart contract audits, and you look at the APYs that people can get by staking Solana-based coins, Saber-based coins. These APYs are insane. You're getting 139%, 161%. You're getting huge APYs. For as long as the APYs are this big, more money is flowing onto Solana. For as long as more money is flowing onto Solana, number go up. It's simply not.
Do you guys spend any time looking at Mango markets?
Yeah, exactly. Mango markets. I want to just show you something. Sunny. So Sunny, I don't know exactly what the total value locked is. Oh, total value locked right now, $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion, one protocol on one ecosystem on Solana. Let's look at the price performance in the last week, because I think that this is where it gets like super interesting. To be honest, I've been trying to buy it. I was trying to buy it at 2.6 cents around here. And this is what it's done. And it's just gone up and up and up and up and up. And for as long as there are these ridiculous yields on Solana, money is going to flow out of Ethereum, even out of Luna, onto Solana.
How many X's do you think Solana can do from here? What do you think? What do you think the total gain? Let's say January. How many X's do you think you could see on Solana from this point?
Depending on what Ethereum does and depending on what Bitcoin does. But if Bitcoin goes to 100,000, Ethereum does a 5x. Well, so Bitcoin goes to 100,000, that's 2x. Ethereum does 3x because that's just the way that it works. Solana does a minimum of 5 to 10x.
Yeah,
that's about right.
Hold on, let's go.
I totally agree with that. I'm not saying the gains aren't there in Solana. I'm looking at like the clean, pretty comfortable 10x's pretty quickly So that's how I look at the market. I think long term, yeah, of course, the 3 to 5x on Solana is there.
Let's look at the numbers here. Do you think that Solana should be trading at 1/8 or 1/7? Sorry, Ethereum should be trading. Solana is trading at 1/7 of Ethereum. That doesn't feel right to me. It just in my gut, it doesn't feel right.
That's what I was saying, Run. It's 11.5% of the combined market cap. It doesn't make sense. It's at least double that. So Solana is probably heading for 300 soon.
Exactly. That's it. That's what I've been saying. Now, it may have a breather because we know that nothing can go up parabolically without a breather. And when it does, then it's a good buying opportunity.
It was like 20-something cents a year and a bit ago, right? So when they did the coin listing. And so, you know, a lot of people have made a lot of money on Solana in the past 18 months, and they're going to take money off the table at every step of the way up. Like, obviously, there's a lot staked, and the market just needs time to digest sellers versus buyers. But the buy demand in Solana is just going up. I mean, institutions are piling in. It's becoming, and the moment it hits number 3 coin, basically it's in everyone's portfolio at that point. And because 75% of Solana is staked right now, like the liquidity is pretty low. Well, not say liquidity, but the float's pretty low. So I think it's very likely we're going to see Solana at number 3 very, very soon.
Let's just look at an interesting chart here. This is so we spoke about NFTs. Let's talk about DeFi. Ethereum, 142 billion total value locked. Binance Smart Chain, which already had its run, 17 billion total value locked. Solana's at 9 billion. Solana was at $1 billion a week ago.
Yeah.
Solana's
got more staked than ETH 2.0. Did you know that? More than double.
Wow, okay, I didn't realize that those were numbers. And then Polygon.
Go to stakingrewards.com.
Okay, I will.
And Solana's the number 1 most staked coin.
I thought Cardano was the most staked coin.
Nope. Goodbye, Cardano. This is the only chart that matters, guys.
I'm looking at the MoonRiver chart. We shouldn't have talked about it. What a bounce! What a completely organic bounce.
Well, yeah, we should have bought. I mean, we should have. I've got a little bit of a bag, but not enough.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for. I think there's another bit of a dip coming, and that's when I'm going to grab it up. But such a bounce magically just happened. Wow, but what timing?
What timing? I guess that's what you call the.
Go back to the staking rewards. Here we go. So like, look at this, Solana, and that number is just growing every day.
Wow. So the majority of Solana is staked at a rewards of 6.48%. That is absolutely insane. That shows the strength of the community. But we also do know that a large amount of the Solana tokens are actually held by a concentrated bunch of VCs, of which Vinny is one of them, indirectly.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. I would say that the free float of Solana is the more important metric, because between Multicoin and Andreessen, everyone else is invested in Solana. Everyone's choosing not to sell their coins. It's very clear from the market. They're choosing to stake. And we've got a long tail of investors here over the past couple of years at Solana. And so when you vote, you're voting with your money.
Chico, we can't hear you. I think your mic's muted, bro. Yeah. I think we lost Chico's mic.
Sorry, guys.
So the point I want to make is, very importantly, is that when you see that people who have the ability to sell and take massive gains choosing not to, they must believe something. And this is smart. Like, the money in Solana, I would say, is very, very smart money. And they're choosing to stake and other rewards. And sure, some people will take 5% of the table, 2% of the table, 10% of the table, etc. But the majority of money is staying in stake to earn the rewards, because the belief is...
That is insane.
If you look at that staking chart, you'll see the 3 top stake coins. It's Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot. The reason all 3 of those are staked so much is because you can't do anything with the coin.
That's not true.
Look at Ethereum. Ethereum's only 6.1111% stake, because people are utilizing Ethereum as gas in the network. It's being utilized.
People are buying a lot of... I've got friends buying a lot of DGen apes right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason.
Okay, I want to talk about NFTs. Alex, I want to talk to you. Alex, I know you're an NFT DGen. You told me that you sold a lot of your NFTs because you felt there was a top. I have 2 questions for you. The first thing is, do you think that loot, which was people aping into an NFT with 8 words on it, including Multicoin Capital, 8 figures into loot, an NFT with 8 words in it. Guys, try and sell me as much as you want on imagination, and you can do anything you want with it, and it's only the beginning. I'm telling you that loot was a top. I tweeted it. Alex, what do you think?
Well, you have to look at the reason why people are getting into NFTs and why the projects are blowing up so quickly. Is it because this is a Solana situation where it's like taking over a part of the market space, or something very important is happening business-wise? Or is it because people want to buy them and then flip them? And it's because people want to buy them and flip them. The driving force behind buying NFTs at all, 99% of projects, is to sell it higher. And the problem that's coming into the market right now is, for example, loot. People saw it was going up, and the fact it was going up fast is why people bought it, so they could flip it as it was going up fast. That's the goal. That's the FOMO behind it. That's the driving use case behind something like that. We can talk about creativity and shit all day, but if people believe they're going to lose money on something, or they're not going to be able to sell it for more, they're not going to buy it. That's Tulip Mania 101. And so with loot, I think it was just a really good indicator of people's complete willingness to throw money in degen because they think they're going to flip it. And if you ever do research Tulip Mania, there was one day they were all at dinner, they're all standing around, they've been doing the same exact type of shithead behavior that we've seen in NFTs, and they tried to sell a tulip to someone else, and it was the first time someone said, I don't think I can flip it for more, I'm not going to make a gain. After that, the market collapsed. And so I don't think loot was the dominant indicator. I think the FOMO behind Mutant Apes, loot, and then the fact that people are getting in the projects now at mint and losing money. People are buying in the projects and losing money. And really, there isn't an easy way to make a 2x, 3x in NFTs right now. 3 weeks ago, you could get anything.
Amazing. I agree with you 100%. Vinny, before we go to you. Okay, Vinny, go ahead.
Can we just talk about utility right now for NFTs? Because that's still being built out. And I was on my podcast on Colin a couple of days ago. And this point is, I think, very important. Is that we're in the very early stages of what you can do with NFTs. For example, I think NFTs become a very important part of this kind of status symbol layer of digital society. And so I can see a world where, United Airlines or one of the big airlines says, hey, if you own a CryptoPunk, we'll give you a free upgrade or something like that. Or they issue an NFT for it. So NFTs become access tokens. I can see social networks saying, hey, you can only join this group if you have this NFT in your wallet or that NFT in your wallet. So, and I think some of the prestigious NFTs, the punks, the degen apes, the whatever, and each community is different. Each chain's got its own one that has some value ascribed to it. Those are going to be in the future very valuable. Can you imagine, if you have a Fidenza NFT that there's a special art show online, and you have to have that in your wallet to access it and be part of the community or bid on art. And if you have a Fidenza in your wallet, you get a $50,000 credit limit to go and buy anything else you want. It's things like that.
But yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with
you. And that's still being built out. It's still being built out. And I think NFTs become access tokens. And I think there are business models that we haven't even discovered yet around NFTs. For example, one of the ones that I'm looking at right now is, how do you change over from the software as a service model where you charge people $20 a month or $500 a year or whatever it is, to say, hey, look, buy this NFT for $500. And when you have it in your wallet, you can access all our services for free. And when you don't want it, you can sell it to somebody else. And there's a limited supply of these because that's how we operate our business. And now, if the demand for the services go up, or for that particular NFT with what it's got, you could have a founder edition, or etc.
Leveraging scarcity. You're leveraging scarcity
on certain products to issue NFTs, and you change the business model around so that you actually have non-fiat revenue businesses, and it all comes from royalties every time the NFTs change hands. And so if you look at the biggest opportunity right now in SaaS businesses is churn. So when you have this high churn rate,
that is genius. The penny dropped. So you're selling a membership which the person can hold, and when they've had enough, they can pass it on to someone else. And if the product gets better, and with a limited number of NFTs, the membership stays in one person's wallet. It's fucking genius.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a business model I'm working on for one of my companies right now.
Incredible.
We announced in the next 2 weeks. But it's going to be pioneering. It's going to be pioneering because you can, for the first time, not have a credit card based business where you say, look, we don't accept credit cards. We don't sell subscriptions. There's no recurring billing. You just sell these NFTs that give you dedicated service and priority, and that's it. And then those change hands in the aftermarket, so you make money every time.
All right, quickly, Chico, you got a comment, and then Alex, I need to ask you a question very quickly because we are running out of time.
Regarding NFTs, so we're talking about, NFTs and different business models. There are some super awesome business models already being built with NFTs, the financialization of NFTs, NFTs, finance NFTs. Alchemist coin is one of those. I know, Ran, Alchemist.
I know Alchemist.
That is a financial NFT. The Crucible is a financial product where you're able to hold other Ethereum assets within it and subscribe to different reward programs. And also the MEV savings from Uniswap, it looks like that's the reason for the pump, is going to be rewarded to Alchemist Crucible holders. But there's another one. There's another one coming called Revest Finance. It's more of a time lock NFT, which is able to hold, ERC20s within it and then unlock on certain time schedules, conditions, addresses. That is having its launch, I think, next week. Keep your eye on that one. It's going to be massive.
Alex, I've got one question for you. We've really got 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
When you take your money out of NFTs, where do you put your money? And the reason why I ask is because you're a degen.
Yeah.
And Ethereum, or do you go into altcoins like MoonRiver? Because I can't imagine that you took your money out of NFTs, put it into Ethereum.
So my question, whenever I'm exiting an NFT, is can I make an easier 2 to 3x on this NFT, or can I make an easier 2 to 3x on an altcoin? And so if I'm thinking to myself, I don't see this NFT 2 to 3xing, and I see it pumping, I'm going to sell in the strength and exit that NFT super quickly. I'm going to keep it in USDC while I think about it, because that's just, I want to take that money off the table. I want to keep it locked. I'm not trying to make gains in Ethereum while I'm doing that. Then I wait for the next NFT project or the next micro project or gaming project. I believe I can make a clean 2 to 3 or 5 or 10x on, and then I'll put the money into that. And so it's all about where the money can go.
One sec. With NFTs though, isn't usually it's traded in Ethereum, like offers and all that?
ETH, you trade it in ETH, and then I'll convert it to USDC. If I see ETH pumping, I'll leave it in ETH, but I'm not trying to play the market with that. I'm trying to take profits out and then find the lower places to get into where I can make those clean 2 to 3x's. So nothing,
Guys, it's been the best banter we've had in a while, I must say. The energy on the show, the conversation, the level of conversation has been
excellent, guys.
Yeah, great.
So if you guys will just wait in the waiting room, I want to thank you guys personally. Banter fam, I'm sure that you will agree that is one of the best banters that we've ever had. I wish that the show on Fridays was a lot longer. Maybe we'll make a longer show. Freddie, should we make a longer show? This banter was fucking amazing. Not only that, I think that we should bring these same guests on again, because it's like we have unfinished business with these guys. All right, Banter fam. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I love the show. I didn't actually feel like doing a show. It's Friday. I was tired. Got onto the stream, listened to them bantering in the waiting room, decided to bring you guys in. That's what the Banter family is about. You're family. You should see the front end. You should see the back end. You've seen it all. We will see you guys again on Monday. Or if anything happens on the market, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well, love you guys madly. Thank you for being the best community in the whole wide world. See you guys on Monday. That was fun, bro.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Excellent. Thank you. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. Your research is greatly appreciated. Unbelievable.
Thanks, Ran. I appreciate that, man.
Good, brother. And we'll carry on our conversation about that we had on text later on today.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Cool, bro.